that, I want to call upon Dee now to talk about where to go to find answers to some of these decisions, and how to get those answers and how do you trust those answers. Welcome, Dee.
Thank you, Sushma. And when I saw Sushma's slides originally, I was blown away. I actually feel like we should have spent all the time with her because she is so smart and has so many good things to say. Same with Chai. Thanks to both of you. I want to emphasize that everything they said was solid gold. So who am I? I've been in the tech industry since I was 19 years old, and I started in shareware probably before most of you were born. I currently work at a company called Mobilize.net. We founded it in 2012, and we transform old client server apps to the cloud, and we help businesses transform to SaaS. So what I want to talk about with you is I don't know about you, but I often have major insecurities. I think they call it imposter syndrome about how smart I am. Do I know enough about my job, my industry, all of the technology, the business issues? You know, it goes on and on. So I wanted to tell you a quick story. Many years ago, when I was very new at Microsoft, I was working as a product manager, and we had our big Bill Gates meeting. It was to review the product I was working on. And the Bill G meeting was a big deal, and it was something that you prepared for weeks in advance, going over every minute detail, trying to figure out all the different questions that Bill would throw at you. And so we got to the meeting room, and we were about to start the presentation, and Bill said, stop. Before you do anything else, I want to ask a bunch of questions, and I want you to tell me exactly what I need to know about this area. It was an area that Microsoft wasn't in before. And Bill proceeded to ask some of the most basic questions. Some of it I had actually wanted to know, but I was worried I would look dumb if I asked. So I learned an important lesson that day that has stuck with me ever since, which is there's no shame in admitting you don't know everything, and there's no shame in asking for help. And I'm glad I learned that early in my career because it has served me well. So my theme for you today is you personally do not need to know everything. I was looking at all of the technologies that we use for cloud development, and it was pretty daunting. And so what I want to talk with you about today is what it takes to get the support, the guidance, and the answers you need to be successful. So I have 2 points I want to make about the development. The first is that no matter how high you are in the organization, you really need to always keep up with technology. We're all technology companies, so it shifts every few years or even shorter. So you need to be constantly on top of what's new. In fact, when we started our business, cloud was still kind of controversial, and some of our customers were resistant to using our cloud-based products, believe it or not. And especially with some of our more laggard customers. Obviously, nowadays cloud is a given, but had we decided to stick with the old stuff, we'd now be supporting old applications. And by the next technology shift, we could be out of business because of if you make if you decided decisions. So we win a lot of business by keeping up on technology. So you don't want to miss that. And the second thing is that I want to talk about that's important, and it goes to my next slide, which we won't go to quite yet, but it's about building a network. And I define my network very broadly because what I've learned over my career is that I can only know a tiny bit of what I need, but there's a whole universe of people out there that fill in not only my knowledge gaps, but also my talent and skills gaps. So if you want to go to the next slide. So here's what and you can build the whole thing. Yeah, thank you. So here's what I want to say to you. Again, you don't have to know everything. Not only that, there are so many people who not only are very knowledgeable, but are also so willing to help. The question is, who can you trust? The good news is that our industry has so many really, really smart people. The harder question is really narrowing down your options. So today I want to talk with you about finding trusted sources of information and taking advantage of all the communities out there that are working together to help each other out. So on this slide, I've outlined the places I go, and this isn't a comprehensive list, but I've been doing this for a while. And so these are the ones that I feel like I've vetted out pretty good and that I think are mostly nice and non-hostile communities. So let's talk first about the far left, which are the dev experts, and that's Stack Overflow, GitHub, HackerNoon, YouTube, and Medium. Those are the places I go to most to get my questions answered. Stack Overflow is the Quora for programmers. If you have a programming question, there is almost certainly an answer on Stack Overflow, and the best answer gets upvoted. So sometimes it's a little bit condescending up there, and disappointingly, there aren't very many women. But it's an amazing resource. And if you ignore the slightly negative stuff that comes up once in a while, you'll benefit from it immensely. So I highly recommend that. Likewise, GitHub is one of my favorite sites. I go to the GitHub Explore section every day just to see what's trending. And I learn so much because the cool thing is that every company, particularly in the Microsoft and the .NET and Azure ecosystem, has products and code up there. I mean, there's more than that. That's a big one for that ecosystem. And I have downloaded so many cool little open source projects. And what I love about it is you can learn how other people solve technical problems. Seeing someone else's code is just magic for me. So that's why I love GitHub. And like I said, every big company has open source projects up there for you to learn from. HackerNoon is a great place to find smart people who are not only writing interesting and technical posts, but you also have the ability to search for experts. And just personally, we found two people who helped us with some really hard problems that we were having a hard time solving. So HackerNoon is great for that. And then YouTube, I won't talk too much about that. I know you're all familiar with YouTube. Suffice it to say, there's so much great content on YouTube. And of course, you can search on topic, plus you can see the ratings and comments to know what to trust. But if you're like me and you're a visual learner, I learn everything on YouTube. Whatever topic I'm interested, YouTube is my first go-to because it's so great to see someone go through it. So and then Medium just has a lot of great, everybody writes on Medium. And again, if there's something you're interested in, there's almost 100% chance that someone's written something great about it. So these are the places I recommend most for dev experts, not only because you'll learn so much, but these are real people posting and you can actually reach out to them and get to know them. I often hear about, the sexism and misogyny in tech, but I think a lot of these folks who post are very approachable and trying hard to help other people. So let's talk for a minute about the community. Um, the online technology communities are great. And I'm primarily in the Microsoft and .NET and Azure communities, which are very kind and accessible mostly. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of these. I don't know how familiar you are with Meetup, but that's amazing. You can find user groups in your area for just about any technology. My company, we're entering a new market in data, and I found some local groups where they've already helped me to shortcut to so many answers to my questions. I'm basically 100 times smarter after the first meeting I attended. And we got some good recruiting advice as well from there. So Meetup is amazing. And if you haven't joined that, you should. It's a great one. And Twitch, which most of you, if you're familiar with it, you probably think of it as the weird gaming platform, but it's actually a very cool and burgeoning platform for tech streamers. And the great thing about Twitch is that it is a real community. You participate in the chat, and the streamer reads your comments, similar to what you're seeing here, and they respond real time. And so there will be live coders who will be coding, and they can answer your questions. It's just an amazing platform for learning and hanging out with other cool people. I have a whole posse up on Twitch that I hang out with all the time. Likewise, Twitter gets kind of a bad rap because of politics, but there's a totally vibrant technical community on Twitter. Tons of women, so many great women who are smart and very focused on lifting other women. I'm at Dee Skier. I'll put that in the chat in a minute, and I'm happy to hook you up with other great women who are smart and fun and making cool things happen. And then finally, in the community area, Reddit is another platform that gets a bad rap. There's lots of weird stuff that goes on there. Most recently, I think everybody's probably heard about the GameStop debacle. But there are tons of great tech folks on Reddit. And it's another place that is indexed by technology and upvoted. I'm part of the .NET community, and every time I go up there, I learn something new. So there are so many great posts up there. Can't say enough good about Reddit. It's a great place to learn. And actually, if you're trying to promote your topics, Reddit's a great place to do that. I'll talk for a minute about associations. It's kind of a quirky one, but one of my great sources of a network comes from industry associations like .NET Foundation and Grace Hopper and some of those. The thing I like about associations is they offer great networking and recruiting opportunities. They offer you the ability to influence technology direction, and they generally have great technical resources and training options. So can't say enough good. If you can join an association that's associated with your area, you will benefit. I always do. And then my last area is, am I normal? And these are surveys. And there's nothing wrong with being not normal. So do you ever wonder if you're weird? Because I do. And what I like about the big survey sites like Developer Economics and Stack Overflow is that they have these huge surveys that survey thousands and thousands of people. And it's nice to know that you're doing it just like everyone else, or maybe you'll learn you're doing it different from everyone else, which can be enlightening as well. And I love seeing the tech trends, the developer profiles, the big issues that technology people care about. Several years ago, we were having issues getting traction with campus recruiting. And we saw that Python was trending really high in the developer economics survey. So we changed our messaging to be more Python friendly, and we received triple the number of applications that year. Unfortunately, all of our competitors saw that what happened, and so they copied us, but we got a year. The surveys are so valuable for helping you stay on top of tech. So anyway, so here's the gist of what I want to say to all of you. You are not alone. There are so many great people out there, and all of the various technology platforms make it possible to connect with everyone. And during COVID, it hasn't stopped any of that. So please reach out to me if you need help finding your posse. I'm glad to help, and it's been very fun to speak with all of you.